So now let us move on to Himal Pandey ji. Himal Pandey ji is going to talk about a very, very interesting topic. Actually, while writing the concept note, even we did not remember that the Betala's story. Actually, children know this story as Vikram or Betal, a very popular comic series and all that. But that Rajadharma is involved in Vikram or Betal stories, Betala's riddles. Even we were not able to remember, but Himalji was able to remember, and she brought a very good topic, very interesting topic. She is a research scholar at Government DB Girls College, Pandit Ravishankar Shukla University, Raipur. She has a very interesting bio also. Uh, she actually is in Chhattisgarh in Raipur. Her doctoral research examines political discourse in modern Indian plays through the lens of Bharatiya aesthetics, bridging classical Indian theories of drama and poetics with contemporary performance and literary studies. She has previously trained in Hindu studies and kavyas with Indica under the guidance of Guru Nagaraj Paturi. Oh, it is mentioned that she studied under me, which deepened her engagement with Indian knowledge systems, Sanskrit poetics, and narrative pedagogy. In addition, she has pursued several certificate and short-term courses related to aesthetics, cultural studies, and literature, expanding her academic foundation with an interdisciplinary approach. Himal's research interests include Indian poetics, aesthetics, performance studies, feminist readings of drama, translation studies, and cultural discourse. She is multilingual, working across English, Hindi, and Sanskrit with translation and writing experience that enables her to bring multiple linguistic perspectives into her scholarship. She has presented and published on subjects such as Natya Shastra, ecological interpretations of the Ramayana, feminist approaches to Indian theatre, and the role of language in cultural revival. Her writings appear in anthologies, journals, and conference proceedings, including those of Gandharvam and Central Sanskrit University. In addition to academic research, Himal has worked as a content writer, editor, and translator, extending her scholarship into applied public facing domains. She is also a practitioner of Kathak and Odissi dance, a storyteller, and theatre artist. The performance background allows her to approach texts not only as literary artifacts but as embodied traditions of aesthetics and ethics. Her forthcoming symposium presentation explores the Vetala Panchavimshati cycle as a model of a narrative statecraft, situating King Vikramaditya as a Puranic historical and literary archetype of Rajadharma and showing how paradoxical storytelling functioned as political pedagogy in the Indian knowledge systems tradition. Welcome to this very interesting topic on a very popular cycle of stories. Himalji, please go ahead.
Namaste, sir. Pranam. I hope I'm audible and let me share my presentation. Uh,
Yes, ma. Please go ahead.
okay. So, namaste, everyone. Namo Nama. So, today we are talking about Vetal's riddles and Vikramaditya Rajadharma. So, let me very briefly tell you what we are going to discuss. First, what are the Vetal tales, the pop culture representation we have, who is Samrat Vikramaditya. Then we will be talking about some stories from Vikram and Vetal and why did we choose it? What's the purpose of the tales overall? Moving forward, what are the Vetal tales? The 25 tales, it is called Vetal Pachisi in Hindi. So, 25 tales of the Vetal, which is one of the most celebrated narrative cycles in Indian literature, and it is known as Vikram Vetal stories. And we have our king Vikramaditya. When we locate him geographically, he is the king of Malwa, to be very precise. And slowly he won over different states, and he has a very vast empire in later in his life. But when we locate his birthplace, it's in Malwa, which is in Madhya Pradesh currently, Ujjain, Avantika, to be very precise. And here he carries a spirit, Betal, and Betal keeps on asking, giving him riddles. Okay, and it starts with a normal storytelling, but when it reaches towards the end, there's always a question. What would you do? What is the correct answer to the question? What is the correct response to the situation? So it is a living tradition. Our grandfather, grandmother have seen the stories, and in the our parents have seen the stories in the television, and our grandparents have read the stories, and it comes from the generations beyond. They have been reading it's in Sanskrit text as well, and those who are very proficient with Sanskrit, Somadeva's text, they have read that also. So moving forward, what are Vetal tales and where do they origin from? So Brihat Katha, that is a tradition that tales traces back to the Brihat Katha, a massive collection of stories. So there is a Paishachi Prakriti language, which is extinct now, if I'm not wrong. And the poet Gundhya, who was in a Satavahan dynasty, uh, probably in 2nd and 3rd century CE. Although the Katha is no longer there, but later the Sanskrit authors drew extensively upon it. It got translated, it got rewritten. So the Vetal cycle is understood to have been part of this earlier story world. Sanskrit retelling in the 11th century by the Kashmiri poets Somadeva and Shemendra. They have retold that old stories in Sanskrit. And Somdeva's Kathasarit Sagar, which is ocean of river of stories, contains the Vetal tales, weaving them into a larger frame of storytelling. Shemen's Brahat Katha Manjari also preserves the cycle of this Vikram Vetal tales in a condensed form. Why did we choose it? So the 25 tales, it is like very popular, okay, as I've told earlier. And moving back, yes, as mentioned earlier, though every option might sound correct, when riddle ends, there are choices to be made, the decision to be made. And the answers, all of them will look correct at time. But what is the judgment of a king? A king which stands as tall as Raja Vikramaditya. So his judgment, his answer is somewhere has a very good and great lesson in understanding how a mind of a Raja works. We will move on to understand who is Samrat Vikramaditya. Um, I'll be reading one page from this book because it has condensed every information about him with proof. What happens is whenever we discuss about our Indian history or Bharatiya history, very contradictory point always arises. Which time period are we talking about? What's the proof? Where is the proof? Fortunately, we have some books about him or some parts of books about him preserved through generation. Unfortunately, we have lost a lot about him. So here, the writer Pratap Narayan Singh, he has referred to a lot of books and scholars' work done on Samrat Vikramaditya. It is in Hindi, but I'll be translating you for it, and it is a very short, like 1, 2, 3 passages. So first, it starts with a shloka: Yat kritam yen kenapi yadatam yan kenachit Yat sadhit masadhyam cha vikramaken bhubhuja. There is nothing that Vikramaditya did not do, and there is not a type of dan which he has not done, and there is no asadhya sadhana that he has not done. He has done every kind of sadhana, and his name will always remain in the world. It will be Amar. So here the writer Pratap Narayan Singh moves on describing that in India, in Bharat, after Sri Ram and Sri Krishna, one of the great king that people remember is Samrat Vikramaditya. And there are so many confusions due to Western historians writing about him in a very questionable manner. Though the quality king possessed, the quality king had, is like a superhuman qualities. Can, like, so many confusions are there by Western historians, that they have considered him as a mythical figure. Ki no, such person cannot exist. Such a powerful person who has done all sorts of sadhana, who is so brave. No, he does not exist. He's a myth, like that they have written in their accounts. So here the writer moves forward, and he mentions that there are many folklores, folk tales, songs about him, and there are so many praman uplabd then that it is tarka sangat. There is a reason behind talking about him with proof. And he first mentions Skanda Puran and Bhavishya Puran, and there are other granths as well. And there exists the Vikram Charit, Kalak Katha, Brih Katha, Gatha Saptashati, Katha Sarit Sagar, and the Betal Pachisi and Sihasan Battisi. That is also attributed to Raja Vikramaditya. Prabandh Chintamani, Ityadi, they all are in a Sanskrit Granth format, and they talk about him. With that, there are Jain Sahitya. There are 55 Granth of Jain Sahitya who talks about Raja Vikramaditya. So Sanskrit and Jain Sahitya are there. With that, there are Chinese, Arabi, Farsi Sahitya who mentions existence of Raja Vikramaditya, and which itself is a praman that yes, this king existed in the time. So there is a great historian, Dr. Kashi Prasad Jaiswal, and he has also written his very good research article on problem of Shak and Satvahan history, which was published in 1930s. So many different books talking about it, and there are certain differences as well. Someone mentions his time period little different, name of his parents little different, but overall there are similarities, that he was Chakravarti Samrat. Now when we talk about Chakravarti Samrat, it means that a person who has won over all the odds, and there are only rare kings who has got this title, who has earned this title. So he was one of them. So present day Ujjaini, Avantika was his capital, and all the foreign elements who were attacking Bharat, central of Bharat, he took over all of them, and he was like very one of the king who took over almost all the foreign invaders at that time. We are which are mentioned as Shak. And moving forward, as we mention our Hindu numbers and as Vikram Samvat, which is attributed to Raja Vikramaditya as well. There is a very interesting book. Present date has been composed by 3-4 historians, and its name is Vikram Smriti. There all sorts of details are there as well, compiling all the historical narrative. So Raja Vikramaditya also had 9 gems in his court, and there are so many stories about him, and so many presence of his living legacy and heritage is still there. So here also writer talks about the fact that fortunately, unfortunately, he has been known a lot about for the um narrative representations we had, not about his history, his qualities, his kingdom, his proper history. People rarely know about. Majorly, we are also discussing about the stories as well. Majorly, he is remembered through these stories. So moving forward, he is a living heritage for people of Malwa. There is a mandir dedicated to him in Ujjain. Moving forward, this is my click. I went like few months back to Jen. So here you can see it is Shipra Nadi, banks of Shipra Nadi, and there this temple, it also has a very interesting story which we will discuss some other time. So this is a Shani Maharaj Mandir, and it is very clearly written Samrat Vikramaditya Dwara Sthapit. It was established by Raja Vikramaditya after a very kathor tapasya. It is a one of a kind Navagraha Shani Mandir situated in Indore Ujjain highway. Moving forward, as we all know, our Vikram Samvat 2082 this year ongoing. And as we all know, pop culture representation. Uh, Prem Sagar ji, Ramanand Sagar ji, they made Vikram Vetal before making the Ramayana series. So this was, I think, their debut or first of kind of series. And we have comics by Amar Chitra Katha, Maple Classics, all have their books, and even the story of Vikram Vetal is adopted in Tamil, Marathi, and other theater cultures, as I have read online. Now, where the story begins, let me take you back a little bit. There was a saint who always used to visit Raja Vikramaditya in his court, and after his visit he would always give a fruit every time. Today a fruit, again he visited, tomorrow again a fruit, next day again a fruit. It made Raja wonder, why is the saint giving me fruit? First of all, second, what does he want in return? Nobody does anything without any cause. There's always a reason. What is the reason behind this action? So he, next day when saint arrives in his court, Vikramaditya asks, "What do you need, dear saint? You are a tapasvi. Why would you give me a fruit?" So that day, saint said, "Ki today you cut open the fruit and see." He cut open the fruit and finds a gem. Then he asks his mantris that you bring all the fruits that he has given, and he cuts open every fruit, and there is a gem. There are two gems, very precious gems hidden inside the fruit. Next day, when again saint comes, Vikramaditya ji asks ki, why did you give me this and why such a precious gems? So saint says, I wanted to, grab your attention. Why would you look at a sadhu as a common sadhu? Why would you look at me? I wanted to grab your attention, so I was doing these activities. So there Vikram says ki, okay, tell me, what do you need? So the sage requests Vikram that I want the brave Vikram, not Raja Vikramaditya. When you come to do my task, you will be the brave fighter Vikram. And do come to meet me tomorrow night. I am doing a tapasya in deep forest. There you come to meet me without any bodyguards or without any minister. Now the court objected, the court courtesians objected that Raja, we cannot let you go alone in deep forest without any security. There he stands tall and says, "No, I have given him my vachan, I have given him my vows, I will go there as the fighter Vikram, as the brave person Vikram." Now he goes deep in jungle, very scary forest, all the animals are there, none of human beings are visible, and deep in forest there was a puja arrangement, a puja sthal made by the sage, and there he was doing his sorts of karm kand. Okay, and there Vikram goes and asks, okay, I'm here without any security, tell me what you need. So this time the saint says that I need you to go miles away, and there is a cemetery, and in one of the trees there is a vetal. He's very scary, he's very naughty as well, because he plays tricks with people. He will trick you as well, but I need you to go and get him. You are the only person in this entire world who can do this. You are very brave and you will not get scared. So this way he goes forward to the jungle, and as we all know, he fights with Vetal. Vetal was not ready to hang in his bag and go to meet the yogi, the saint. This time Vikram goes there and fights with Vetal, hangs him over his back, and he starts his walk towards the jungle, towards the yogi. Now Vikram was carrying him, and Vetal starts talking to him. कि अच्छा तुम तो बहुत ब्रिलियंट हो, तुम तो बहुत स्मार्ट हो, you're such a smart person. Okay, I will go with you, but there is one condition, one promise you have to give me, and you're very much you keep your vows, you keep your promise. So this time, promise me, I'll be telling you stories, I'll be talking, you be silent. Okay, you be silent, but I'll be asking you a question at the end of the story. If you know the answer and if you do not answer me, I'll break your head into pieces. If you answer me, I will run away. That was the condition. So, here, as you can see, riddles, then silence. If he's silent, then death, because he will be knowing the answer. He's the king, he's very smart. And if he answers, Vetal escapes. So, Vetal makes this cycle where they will be always stuck. And this is very famous line from the series of Ramanand Sagarji, Vikram, tu bola or main chala. That is what he used to say every time. So moving forward, out of 25, we have taken three stories to discuss. So here in Hindi it is titled as Kiska Balidan Bada Raja Ka ya Sevak Ka. It is a story of sacrifice. Let me give you a glimpse of the story. Here the story talks about King Roop Sen, and he was looking for a servant for a long time. He wanted a very trustable person to be very near to him, next to him, every time he's there, everywhere he goes. He wanted one secretive person, one trusted person to be with him. And after finding a lot of people, searching for a lot, and testing people for their honesty, etc., he meets Birbar. Okay. And Birbar was very well built, tall, very well built bodyguard kind of person. So he said, okay, he will be my bodyguard, he will be my servant, and he will be with me everywhere I go. And he asked Birbar that you have to live away from your family. I will give you 1,000 tolas of gold coins. He used to give 1,000 tolas of gold coin. And Birbar said, it's too much for me. Like, it's more than I can ask for. So he used to keep some for his family and he used to donate it for charity as well because it was too much for him. Now, he guarded the palace. He was always next to the king. And one night, the attackers came and attack. They wanted to loot the king and maybe kill him as well. So he fought very bravely and was wounded, very fatally wounded. He declared he would die for his king. At that very moment, the king embraced him and said, if you were life for me, I too shall give mine for you. A throne means nothing without faithful servants. In between, there was an incident that the fatal injury required some sort of treatment for which, like we do blood match. Similarly, he needed certain blood or organ. I am not able to recall one of the things which the king was ready to donate it to the servant, to the bodyguard, the servant, the faithful servant. That is the statement of king. Now, here, Vetal at the end asks, what do you think? Whose sacrifice was greater, the servant or the king? Both answers are looking right. The servant is there to sacrifice himself for the king. The king is ready to sacrifice his life, his organs for the servant. I would also like you to think for it for a few seconds. Whose sacrifice looks greater? Moving forward, let us see what the king's answer was. He said the king's sacrifice was greater because it is the servant's duty to sacrifice. But here, the king is going beyond his privilege and offering his life, offering himself for the servant, which is extraordinary. Here, one lesson that can be drawn is that Raj Dharma means valuing subjects and servants even above the throne. And the true leadership is reciprocal loyalty. The king cares for his people as well and is ready and standing there, always there for the people. This is what the lesson I can draw from the story. Moving forward to the next story, Raja Satyadev ka Nyay, Satyadev's justice. So King Satyadev had a daughter, and once upon a time when she was roaming in jungle with her friends, she got abducted. Now there were three young men who were helping to bring her back. They were from the kingdom itself. And if I correctly remember, the Raja has kept this condition that whoever saves her will be with her, her husband. Save my daughter. That was his request. Now there are three people. Okay, there is a Brahmin, there is a merchant, and there is a soldier. The Brahmin had was very intelligent. He was known to decode a lot of things. He was very brilliant. The merchant was very rich. He had all sorts of flying viman. He had ship. He had all means by which the princess can be found. And then there was a soldier who was very brave. Now, these three young men together, they went forward. So the Brahmin said, "Ki, let me see where was her last location." Okay, forest. Okay, her hair accessories are going in that direction. They are thrown down. Okay, maybe she wanted us to know that she's going in that direction. So he went to forest. He decoded which direction probably she might have gone. He also calculated the wind. Okay, if she's abducted, and if she's abducted by the ship, she would be going this side. If she's abducted by a chariot, the road is that way. So he was calculating the way where she might have been taken away from. Then at the end, he figures out that we need fastest means to reach the princess. Here comes the merchant and he says, "I have flying viman. I have it. You take my viman. We will go and find her." Now soldier also joins in that, "No, I'll also come. If there is some sort of problem, I'll handle. I'm brave enough to handle and fight off all the evil things." Now three men goes in the flying viman searching for her, as located by the Brahmana. That, yeah, he calculated the direction, and he sort of figured out, yes, she must be in that direction. Exactly, she was in that direction behind the big rock belts. She was behind the big rock belts. And here was the merchant with the flying viman, and then there was the soldier. But when they reached near her, they saw that she's surrounded by a lot of animals. It was forest, big rocks. Behind the rocks, there was a forest. There was all sorts of lion roaring. All three of them were afraid. But only soldier took the risk, jumped off the Viman, fought with the lion, took the princess out of that rock belt area, and made her climb the Viman. All three of them took her back to the king. Now, in this situation, all three of them were claiming that, "See, I was intelligent enough," the Brahman said, "that I decoded her location exactly same location she was there. If I have not decoded it, you would never reach her." Right? Second was the merchant. He said, "I gave you the Viman. If I have not given you my Viman, how would you reach her? It's so far." Third, the soldier said, "If I have not jumped off the Viman and fought with the lion and I have not brought her back, how would you get her back?" All three of them were claiming that, "I am honorable, I am the husband of the princess, I have saved her." Now, Vetal questions here that whose claim is strongest, and he asked Vikramaditya, "Tell me your answer." Now, again, all three answers are looking like, yeah, decent. All three of them worked hard for her. Let us see what the Vikram said. Vikram said that the soldier's bravery, it was the strongest, and the soldier is the rightful savior of the princess, and he is there. He should be the husband, because for wisdom and wealth, it guided to the rescue 100%. But it takes courage and risk, okay, to save her life, and that is what secured the outcome. Right? Even if they have reached there, if no one has shown bravery, what's the use of reaching there? So here the lesson drawn is that Raj Dharma in justice is about Yatharth Pradhan, rewarding by the merit. Kings must recognize those who bear the greatest risk for the realm. Okay. And do not distribute the honor equally. Of course, whose risk was greatest? Who risked themselves? That was the question here. And the answer was that the soldier. Moving to the next story, Atyachari Raja and Praja Ka Dharma, Har Datta's problem. Here, there was a king in Sudakshi region. Okay, he threw a lot of taxes on people. Oh, we are not getting enough revenue, and he kept on taxing people to a level that it became unbearable. Okay, they were not able to have their food properly, not able to buy things, not able to sell things due to the high amount of taxes. Of course, it was unjust. Okay, here it turned into a cruelty for them. There was a common man, a very common and useless kind of man, because he was doing nothing, just sitting there in his home with his parents, and he always used to comment on things. Okay, here also he commented on this, and he was talking to his parents, no, you should say that this is wrong, you should confront the king that this is wrong. Now he started openly resisting the king. Any person he would meet, he would talk about this. Okay, now his parents, Hardatta's parents, scolded him ki, don't you dare talk against our king, be quiet, things will be normal. But he was known for his outspoken nature. So Hardatta used to always declare that the king has broken the bounds of dharma. He is not doing good, he's doing injustice. One day, one of the ministers of the king heard him saying all these nonsense things. He heard him and said, Are, how dare you talk against our king? And they put him in the prison. Now, when the Raja came to know that such and such person named Haridatta was put behind a bar, and his crime was that he was criticizing me. He was saying something just because of some words he got behind the bar. So here Vetal asks, should Haridatta be punished as he disobeyed his king, disobedience to the king? Should he be punished for this? What would the Raja do? What should the Raja do? That was the question. And Vikramaditya proceeds to say, no, he should not punish him. Rajdharm binds the king more than the Prajadharm binds the subject. A subject who upholds dharma against injustice is not guilty by righteous. So, here somewhere, the lesson is that kingship is not about the absolute power. Like, no one can speak against me. It's not like that. It is limited by dharma. If a king becomes unjust, subjects have right to resist. So, a ruler's legitimacy survives when he upholds the dharma. That is the lesson we draw from this story. And moving forward, how does the series of 25 stories end? Now, after all the 25 times, mind you, all the 25 times or 24 times, this is the last story, 24th time, all the 24 times, Raja Vikramaditya ji has answered the questions, which means by Vetal's rule, the Vetal has flown back. So before every story started, he has to again struggle to pull him back in his, pull him back, and then again walk, then again a story, a riddle, and answer, and he flies back. So this cycle has happened 24 times. When this happens for the 25th time, okay, after the story ends, King Vikramaditya remains silent. He did not purposefully listen to the story. So Vetal kept on telling the stories, but purposefully Raja Vikramaditya did not listen to the story. He was focused on the way, okay, what are the problems we might face going ahead, and what's the temperature. Okay, this is a tree. So he was distracting his mind, not listening to Vetal. And Vetal's condition was, if you listen to me, know the answer and do not answer, I'll kill you. And if you answer, I'll fly back. So very consciously, Raja Vikramaditya at the end avoided his story. He did not listen. At the end, Betal said, I know you're very smart. You did not listen to me this time. I cannot punish you for not listening. And he said that, you know what's the truth. The sage is not the sage you think. He's a tantric. And he has sent you here, and he is not up for a good things. He's doing tantric sadhana, and it is not holy. He's very wicked. And tonight, if you bring me to his place, you take me there. He wishes to sacrifice you. He will be taking me, and he will be sacrificing you and gain powers to rule over the world. He will gain all the magical powers to rule over the world. And if you obey him blindly, you will be surely killed. And after listening to this, Raja Vikramaditya was a little troubled. He has given his word to sage. Now what to do? He sticks by his words, right? So Vetal gives him a solution that when you hand me over to the sage, he will order you to bow down. And the moment you bow down, he will sacrifice you. Okay. So before he strikes you down, you strike him down. Vikram nodded to this. Yes, that we can do. Then he carries the Vetal to the sage. The sage was overjoyed because he was doing some sort of tantric sadhana. He was disguised as sage, but he was a tantric. So he was overjoyed, and then he started doing his ritual. Okay, and then ordered Vikramaditya that she is our Devi. We are offering things to her. You should bow down. In response to his request, Raja Vikramaditya asked the tantric, ki, I don't know your tradition of puja. I think you should bow down and you show me how to bow down and then I'll bow down. So the tantric was like, okay, I don't mind. I'll bow down. The moment the tantric bows down, his head was slaughtered. So now Vetal laughed and said that, oh Vikram, you have done the right. A promise made to a wicked man is no promise at all. By your courage and wisdom, you have saved yourself and your kingdom. You shall be remembered forever as the just king who upheld the dharma. And here the cycle of riddles ended with Raja Vikramaditya being the victorious. So when we look at the stories overall, they are a riddle answer, yeah, right. And if you watch the series, if you read the stories, you will be guessing the answer. And many a times your answer will be wrong because all of them looks like a right answer. So here comes the mindset of a raja, a dharmic raja, a samrat. How he thinks, how he makes the decision, and if we decode the stories, it's actually very useful. So where do we find this in our learning system? Can this be a part of our proper learning system? Yes, as a storytelling to kids. We might have read Vikram Vetal, but what about the kids nowadays? Are they reading it? If yes, that's good. If not, then we may incorporate the storytelling elements for them. And when we do deep literary analysis for like degree students, it can be useful for them as well. So yes, it can find a very good place in our learning system. And that is all. These were my references, the books majorly, and the photos taken were from Google and self clicked. And I thank you all for listening to me, and I hope it it kept you engaged. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Guruji.
Naga sir is just coming. Meanwhile, if you want to take any questions, if there are any, can you
Yes,
please
yes.
check?
Yeah. There is a comment by Shri Pranshuji ki 25th stories movie Apurva Ranga. Yeah. Yeah, there are movies also made on this. True.
The mother falls for the son and the daughter is with the father of
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
and so their children would have a relationship not
Yes,
logically.
yes,
That's why he
it was,
couldn't answer.
yes. Confusing and interesting.
Another thing is that you talked about Paisachi language doesn't exist. Vatalik, for example, was a name of a guild at one point in time. And so like modern Kathi script, right? In not modern, Kathi script, right? It is actually Hindi, Eastern and Western Hindi and Nepali is written in a different script. So there's a different sound to it because there's a transformation between the sounds, right? In the script because it's a shorthand. So similarly, there was Paisachi could be like that same only Western Hindi, Gujarati or Punjabi predecessor, like Shorseni, but with a different script, because there's also called Kulik Peshachi, and Kulik was a Shilpkar guild. It was basically a specific guild, or Nag Bhasha, they used to call it. So they may be just scripts, basically, not really different languages as such.
It can
Did
be,
you
sir.
think about researching in that?
I have not. I have read the papers and the historian's book on it. So that was the point made by them, but it's actually interesting. Uh, Unfortunately and fortunately, our history remains open to,
Yeah.
research and predictions. So it can be a topic of research as well.
Thank you, Himalji. And there's a good discussion also because Pranshuji weighed in. Please keep in touch with the Pranshuji. He's a very famous author, great storyteller, matches with your interest. He will be able to guide you
Okay, sir.
further. Pranshuji, she is a young upcoming researcher. Please guide her.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah.